So today's training was initially entitled, when I started planning it this morning, at the top of this iPad, as you can see, it says 10 reasons you will succeed in body, business, and mind. I'm currently at reason 23, and I had to stop writing them down. And to be fair, some of them, there's probably 4 or 5 reasons within a reason. Now, before I go on to that, this is so important. And there's one of them that, if this is you, we're going to be doing a lot of work on gratitude on Saturday. We're going to be doing a lot of work on wins on Saturday. We're going to be doing a lot of work on setting goals, but making sure they're measurable and achievable, making sure they align with our values, making sure that we're bypassing the BS and not just setting easy, mediocre goals that we know how to achieve, because we're not going to be motivated to go for them because they're too easy. So the big thing outside of that, when I get everyone's head, I guarantee, like I know I keep talking about this, but I guarantee you, everyone who comes on Saturday is going to leave that room inspired into the middle of next week and beyond, because it's going to give you the tools and it's going to give you the steps to implement it, to go through, as well as getting around that energy, getting around those people. These meetups are just, those of you who've been before know how powerful they are. So if you haven't and you still want to come, let me know. You've got until probably Thursday PM to get a ticket, when I've got final food numbers to get to the hotel. Kerry, it's being recorded for you, so don't worry. So it's the gratitude one, right? Drop me a yes if at some point in the last 12 months, if you've been at rock bottom several times. If you've been, and it doesn't have to be rock bottom as in you were there for months. Like, have you had days? Like, I think every person should be commenting yes. Have you had a day when you didn't want to get out of bed, you couldn't train, you thought Lee Freeman's a tosser and he can stick his nutrition, mindset and training stuff where the sun doesn't shine. I hate my job. I hate my family. I hate everything. I could push yes, 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 yes. I've had 4 or 5 days like this already this year. Crazy, right? 22nd of January. And you guys will think, Lee, really? Lee feels like that? No, Lee's superhuman. No, Lee's like a mindset warrior. Like, we all have these days, right? We all have these rock bottom days. And the difference between winning and losing, before I waffle on for 25 minutes before coming on to the 23 reasons that should have been 10, I want to discuss the gratitude thing. So I have said this to so many people. And if you can take this one thing away today, which was nothing to do with this training, I believe it will change your life. But it's not so much taking away the thing and doing it. It's understanding the reason why you may not have done it in the past. So I'm going to take a certain individual. This is a fictitious man, but this has been many men over the last 10 years. And they are angry, reactive, depressed, hate the job, hate their relationship, hate their brothers, hate their sisters. They've got family issues. They've basically got a issue with everyone and everything in the world. They are in what I call the pit. Classic victim mentality. Complete learned hopelessness. I'm a defenseless little victim in the world of life, and everything happens to me, and everyone's against me, and life's not fair. And you know the person I'm talking about. I have been that person multiple times, so I get it. And I come to said person and I say to him, right, trust me, I've tried and tested this thousands of times, not just on myself, but on other people as well. And it's brutally effective. It's the number one and only way to get yourself from where you are to moving forwards. And they're expecting some huge epiphany or mindset change that is just going to be something they've never heard before. Some earth-shattering words of advice, some guru meditation breathing technique that's going to change their life. And it's not. It's the simple thing that I do every single morning when I get out of bed. Apart from when I forget, and when I forget, I don't have the best start to the day. Left foot thank, right foot you. Thank you. And I will say to said man or woman, write me down 20 things in your life right now. We're going to be doing this on Saturday that you're grateful for. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this one. I did it before and it worked. I will do. Right? No, send them to me. And if you can't find 20, you're not looking hard enough. These are small things. Well, I'm grateful for every single one of you watching this for a start. There's 20 gratefuls. I'm grateful to have a roof over my head. I'm grateful for friends and family and people that love me. I could literally do 100 if I went deep enough now. And I guarantee you, maybe even doing it for an hour is the single most explosive way to take yourself from the pit into back on track, along with looking at your wins, okay? And also looking at zooming out on your wins, maybe looking at your 90-day wins, not your week wins. I like just talking again openly on this, complete meltdown this week, like business wise, a little bit. Like this month as a business income is way down on what we did in December. Well, of course it is, because there's nothing on sale. There's no challenge. There's no new people. There's no all of you that came in on the Unbreakable 90 challenge. And I'm like, oh God, everything's going backwards. Life going backwards. I'm not good enough. No one wants to work with me. People are leaving. Why are they leaving? It must be me. It must be my fault. You know, total kind of meltdown stuff. And it's like, well, one, I practiced the gratitude to get out of it. And two, it's then I zoomed out. Oh, actually, we're up 43% in the last 90 days. But I was looking at 1 week. Does that make sense? Or even 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And so many of us do this in life, right? We have a bad week and then we're like, just thought I'd not press record then. We have a bad week and then we make that this is our current situation. Well, it's not. It's just the week or the day. And as I've said, this is the difference between winning and losing. Winners have a bad day, they get a handle on it and move forward. Sometimes they have a bad week, they get a handle on it and move forwards. Losers let a bad day become a bad week, become a bad month, become a bad 90 days, become a bad life, because they won't do the gratitude. And do you know how many people, and if this is you, again, don't let your ego trigger you. Just go, do you know what? Actually, this guy knows more than me. This guy's recovered 2,000-3,000 people, multiple suicides, alcoholics, drug addicts, and everything in between to living healthier, happier lives. Maybe I can just drop my ego and listen. And I have to do that sometimes. One of the things on here is that you have to be coachable. But the reason why they won't type it and taste it back to me, who knows? When I ask someone to do this and they say, yeah, I'll do it. And then I'll say, no, I want you to write the 20 things down on a piece of paper or an iPad, or type it, stick it in WhatsApp, anything at all. And they won't do it. No, yeah, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. No, do it now. You're virtually fucking suicidal, bro. Do it now. No, but mate, busy. No, mate, do it now. And then they still don't do it. Who knows the reason why? Who knows the reason why? Because they don't want to change. Doing that gratitude list means they have to stop telling themselves the bullshit story that they keep telling. When I finally write, oh, actually, I'm going to stop this crap that I keep going on about. Life's different for me. Nobody loves me. Nobody ever does this. Nobody ever does. Complete victim, learned mentality, cost of living, fucking COVID, fucking everything in the world's bad, the government, yada, 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 yada. The whole shebang, the whole habit they've built, the whole identity, the whole beliefs. And the truth is, they would rather continue to tell themselves that story. Because when they do the gratitude thing, it's like, Stephen Brooks is doing it now, I can tell. When they do the gratitude thing, it means Stephen, would you be willing to take a photo of that as well afterwards and post it in the Facebook group? Legend. Anyone else struggling? Do this. Trust me. I'm a mindset guru. No, I'm not. Just a normal bloke. But they want to keep telling theirself the story about how it's different to them. They're addicted to it. They're addicted to depression. They're addicted to anxiety. If they're not moaning about something, they haven't got anything to say. If they're not blaming someone, they haven't got any topic of conversation. If they're not angry, resentful, frustrated, twisted, pissed off, reactive, taking it out on everyone else, blaming, complaining, and justifying, they're not happy. They actually enjoy it. They're addicted to being that person. And this has happened with 2 people this week. 2 people who are heavily depressed on my signature service plan, where you get one-to-ones like this. And they've refused to do it. One of them I've binned off. I said, I'm not working with you anymore. Don't want any more money. Keep your money. Not interested. Can't help you. Whether he'll come back or not, I don't know. But I can't help someone who doesn't want to be helped. And that's the reality. If things are triggering you, if you don't want to do the mindset stuff, you don't want to track the food, you don't want to do the gratitude stuff, you don't want to complete your planner, you don't want to do the wins, you don't want to do your morning routine, all in this training, ask yourself why. Because it's tougher and you'd rather continue telling the story about how it's different for you, how bad everything is, how stressed you are, how busy you are, how anxious you are. And when you turn it and have to do this gratitude thing, it means you have to stop your mind telling yourself all that bullshit about why it's different for you. And if you don't want to do the gratitude work, it's because you don't want to stop telling that story, because you would rather keep blaming. We've said this, you know, whatever you are not changing, you are choosing. Should we start today's training? Should we start these 23 reasons that should have been 10? So, number 1 comes on to what I said. The number 1 reason you will succeed in body, business, or mind is because you are coachable and because you are continually willing to learn. This means not having an ego, regardless of your age, history, or background. People who win, people who succeed, whether it's on this plan or in life, are always striving to be better. They're not looking to get somewhere. They don't get triggered by people who are more intelligent, people who are winning, people who have more money, people who have more success, people who have more significance. They don't get triggered by them. They want to get around them and learn from them. You know, you guys have heard me say this many times, the amount of people that apply to my plan and they're like, yeah, I get what you're saying, Lee, but what I need is, no, see ya, not working with you. I'm a coach. If you know what you need, then you just need to go and do it. If you know what works for you, just go and do what works for you. Or do you want a professional to rip your life to pieces and put it back together so you can live a world-class life? Are you willing to learn? Are you coachable? Because if you're not, then that's what will hold you back. You have to be humble. You have to be open-minded. I love being in a situation when I'm getting challenged and I don't understand and it's triggering me and I'm confused, because I'm like, this is where I'm going to grow. I love being in a room full of people that are also intelligent that I feel really uncomfortable and stupid because I can't even spell. Because I know that's where I'm going to grow, around their energy, around their vibe, around their knowledge. So the number 1 reason people will succeed is that they're coachable and they're always looking to learn. They understand that every day is a school day. They're the opposite of a know-it-all. In their eyes, they constantly know nothing. They're looking for answers. They're looking for new people. They're looking for progress, not a destination, just constantly looking to be better. Who can I learn from? Who can I? A lot of people like being the best person in the room. I always want to be the weakest person in the room, because otherwise I'm not going to learn anything. Number 2 is they plan and schedule every day. I'm not going to do this one to death, but you know, people who are successful have a game plan for each and every day, even if it's to have a successful day out with the family on Saturday. It doesn't have to be body, business, or finance. You know, if you want to have a successful day with the family, you need to plan it. It's not going to happen by chance. So they plan and schedule every day, and they also don't lose their SH1T, as my grandfather would have said, because he never swore, believe it or not. That they don't lose it if the plan can't happen. Things will change. Life isn't a fixed plan. They have a contingency plan. Luke nailed it. Yeah. Learn from other people's mistakes. Like Paul Mortowest to me, I've made like all these mistakes so you don't have to, Lee. You can learn from me. You know, and all the business mentors that I've worked with have done that. So we have a backup plan, we have a contingency plan, and sometimes we're willing to work with what we've got. A key habit of people that win versus people that don't is, oh, I can't get to the gym today, but I can. Go out on that patio and do 12 rounds of 3 minute skipping, which will probably burn more calories than had I gone to the gym whilst Logan's inside on his iPad because he's off school and I couldn't get any work done. Or I could have done it with him if it was in the holidays, and that just meant I couldn't get to the gym. So successful people plan and schedule, but they're also willing to have a contingency and a backup plan and not lose their shit if the plan can't go to plan, so to speak. Sometimes it will change. Number 3, successful people and people who succeed welcome adversity. They welcome challenge and they understand that there will always be challenge. Like, one of the most impactful things that Susie Ashworth ever taught me, again, she's someone else I spent time getting around. Multi-millionaire female empowerment, transformational kind of coach. Not my vibe in terms of coaching, but her knowledge is insane. And she said to me, Lee, one, understand the lessons and the gift and be grateful for all the challenge in the past, no matter what it is, no matter how tough it was, because that's where you got your biggest lessons. That's where you built your strength, which I've really, really understood this. And then she said to me, here's the kicker though. Here's what takes you to an absolutely unbreakable level. So go on. She went, imagine when you can be grateful in advance. Imagine when you can be grateful in advance for all challenges that you face. So every challenge that I face this year, every challenge in my relationships, as a father, as a business owner, as a coach, every single challenge and setback and adversity that I face this year, I'm welcoming it. I'm saying, come on. I'm not saying why me, I'm saying try me. Bring it on, because I'm grateful for it in advance, because I know that challenge is where I'm going to grow. That is where the strength's going to come from. My strength will always come from my struggles. This is going to go on forever. Number 4, they categorically understand the unquestionable importance of using as many adjectives as possible in one sentence and a sensational, bulletproof, unbreakable morning routine. I've never met a successful person that doesn't have a morning routine that they've created for themselves, which is bulletproof. It's literally the first brick of building a successful day. Like, yet still so many people are rolling out of bed, stayed up, watching Netflix till midnight, no plan, angry, reactive, didn't get the kids' clothes out, snappy, fighting fires, straight on social media as soon as they get out of bed. Oh, so-and-so's doing better than me. I'm triggered into an argument, and just starting the day like that every single day. It's the reality of, well, as many modern day, men, women, business owners, parents, these are the people that talk about how busy they are, how stressed they are, how overwhelmed they are. Of course they are, because they don't have a plan. Imagine me getting out of bed today with just no plan. Like I said yesterday, getting clear on priorities. There's way too many things on this list for me to do today. So guess what? If I try, or I just cherry pick the easy ones, what's going to happen? Stressed, overwhelmed, procrastination. Oh, I'm not good enough because I didn't get everything done again. Of course you didn't get everything done, Lee. You put 3 days worth of jobs on a list, then wondered why you're not good enough. Wondered why you were still at your desk at 11 o'clock at night. and then wondered why you were tired, angry, and stressed the next morning. You know, we have to get clear on priorities, and all this starts with that bulletproof morning routine. Number 5, and without a doubt, this is my strength. My number one strength. If I was interviewed and people said, what is your number one strength? My number one strength is I do not fucking quit. I don't give up. Unless it's something where I'm like, my music career, this is just isn't working for me. I'm not going to get drawn into the sunk cost fallacy. The ladder's up against the wrong wall. It's not going to happen. It's time to realign with stuff that's within my values, which is this business. But my number one strength, and the number one strength of all winners, is they do not quit. How many times have you seen tennis players or footballers or rugby players when a game literally turns around? You know, especially in tennis, you sometimes see it when players at Wimbledon, they might be losing by 2 sets and 5-2, and they've come back and they've won the 3rd set, and then they've gone on and won the 4th and the 5th set in the tiebreak. And that comes from never, ever giving up. And it's 2 stories here. Like, yeah, again, write this down. This should be one of your affirmations and journals. It's impossible to be a person that never gives up. And this is how I breed confidence. Like, I don't know whether I will complete that 200 miles on the 30th of May, but I know that I will complete 200 miles. Do you see the difference? That's why I failed at 91 and then I did the 103. I won't quit until I do it. I can look each of you in the eye now with complete integrity and tell you, unless an extremely high level medical professional says to me, Lee, you're going to cause unrepairable damage to your body by trying again, I will not quit until I do that. And that's why that's when you can't lose. One of my old friends who I used to box with used to say to me, when he was a much better boxer, and he said, I would literally hate to fight you. I said, what do you mean? You'd win easily. He said, I know, but I'd have to spark you out or kill you in order for you to stop, because I know you won't give up. And again, take away from that, it's like, so look, it's not about winning. It's not about being the best boxer. Not even about winning the match. It's like, eventually, if I don't give up, I can't lose in any area of life. So again, just take that away and just think, do I keep chucking in the towel too easy? Do I keep quitting? Do I try something once and then when it doesn't work out, I give up? It might be your nutrition plan. It might be your training plan. It might be mindset work. It might even be journaling and gratitude. Maybe you didn't connect it with it the first time, so you decided not to do it again. But that is the number one. That's 5. We're on. Quick recap. Number 1, you're coachable. Number 2, you plan and schedule every day. Number 3, you welcome adversity. Number 4, you categorically understand the importance of a bulletproof morning routine. Number 5, you don't quit. Number 6, you set clear and measurable goals that are realistic and create a plan to get them, which you check back on daily so you don't forget. Number 7, you create consistent habits and routines, from tracking your food daily to checking in every week and to doing your sessions. Number 8, winners never play the victim. Winners understand that life happens for them, not to them. They will never go into this state of learned hopelessness that we were talking about at the beginning, because they understand as long as they look hard enough, there will be a lesson, there will be a gift. And when they're willing to go through the adversity, they will grow more and more and more. Number 9, people who succeed do not blame, complain, and justify. As long as you blame someone else for anything in your life, you will always be stuck. Number 10, they have patience, and they understand that anything worth having in life is not going to come easy. You won't succeed the first time. I mean, even think about, I don't know why I'm on the tennis vibe today, but it's like, you know, it's like, be like Andy Murray entering. How many times did he enter Wimbledon before he won? How many matches has he played? How many times did he win Queens? How many times did he get knocked out, disappointed, injured, hip replacement? What did he do? He didn't quit. He knew he wanted that title and he wasn't going to quit until he got it. But you have to have patience. Again, you do see this in sports sometimes as well. Oh, I've put 3 years into this and it's not working out, so I'm going to quit. Some people, it's Ryan Terry's just won Mr. Olympia from Retford. 10 years he's been competing and he's only won it this year. That's 10 years of competitions. It's like relentless, but it's the same thing. He wasn't going to quit. I know for a fact that he wasn't going to quit. If he hadn't have won it this time and it would have taken another 5 or 6 years, I guarantee you he would have carried on because he's a winner and winners don't quit. So you have to have patience and you have to understand that anything great is always going to take time, effort, and never be easy. We know this. Life is a contribution-based experience. If you keep looking for quick, easy, and stress-free, you're going to keep getting one of them in the face from the universe telling you that, hey, guess what? The world doesn't work that way. You get what you give. You get out what you put in. Number 11, winners tend to not have egos and they're not afraid to ask for help. Number 12, winners have a plan and they have a purpose. They know what outcome they want from every situation. Like, I would not go into open conversations with people now without knowing what the outcome is and what's needed. The guys will say this, some of the guys on the upper level plan will say this to me all the time. Lee, can I have a catch-up call today? Yeah, great. What do you want to get handled? Not sure. Okay, well, figure out what you're going to get handled and then you want to come back from me. Okay. Or did you just want to chat? Because I'm not here to chat. I love you, but I'm your coach. I haven't got time to catch up with 82 people today. But if you've got an outcome, if you've got a purpose, if you've got what you want to get out, what you want to get handled, what you want to learn, I'm all over it like a rash. I'm here. So we have to understand that, we have to have a plan and purpose. If you're going into you might even be going into a situation, okay, and it might be a conversation with your boss. Maybe it might be a conversation with your partner, might be a conversation with me, might be anything in area of life. Like, people who succeed, they know what outcome they want. They know what they're working towards. They're focused on what they want and where they're going. If we're just kind of having conversations for the sake of conversations, then again, that's just distraction. That's just wasted energy. Number 13, I guarantee you, most winners have a very low screen time and very rarely watch TV. Certainly not for more than 1 hour per day. We have to remember this. Transformation is not a spectator sport. We all go on Instagram. I go on Instagram. I work off my phone, so mine is higher than it should be. But focusing on your own life, not other people's. Again, where watching TV, what are we really doing? 9 times out of 10, we're watching drama, watching other people's drama, when we could be focusing on our own goals, our own missions, our own futures. We're endlessly, what does Paul call it? Doom scrolling. Like, next time you catch yourself doing this, I do this myself and I shout at myself. Like, I'll be on Instagram like this and I'll literally have to stop myself. I'll be like, Lee, like, what the fuck are you looking for? Like, what are your hopes? Like, if you keep scrolling long enough, what do you hope you're going to find? And we're just endlessly spectating, aren't we? And it's so easy to go into that grounds of doing that. And I've had people on the plan as well, they get really into motivation and this and it's sending me reels and reels and reels. Oh, look at this, look at this. Like, no, I don't want to look at that. Like, I've got all this stuff that needs to be done. I've got focus driven goals. I don't want to be consuming another 20 reels from somebody telling me to how to live my life. I know what I want and I need to do the action plan towards that. So be aware of that. Number 14 is winners have a strong peer group. We discussed this in one of the other points. And they are willing to be the weakest person in the room. They are willing to invest to get around people further along the journey, and spend time around them. Number 15, They work on their mind daily. They understand that repetition is the master of all skill. Our minds are like naughty dogs. You can't sit your dog down and teach it to sit for 30 minutes on a Monday and then not come back to it Friday and expect it to still understand how to sit. It's going to have forgotten. Dogs have got a memory span, haven't they, of like not a lot. That's why they don't have that part of the brain that's what's it called, the amygdala or amygdala, dependent on how people pronounce it. There's the amygdala and there's the prefrontal cortex, and it's one of them that the dog doesn't have. That's why when you give it a boo because it knocked your cup of tea over on your cream carpet and you're really angry with it and you tell it you wish it was dead and it's ruined your life and you hate pets because it's ruined your carpet, then 5 minutes later it comes in wagging its tail and wants to give you a kiss and show you how much it loves you because it doesn't remember that point. Okay. And again, the mind can be the same. We have to keep reaffirming it, reaffirming it, reaffirming it, just like you would a naughty dog in order to train it so it's constantly pointing in the right direction, because it will always want to point back to the man or woman that we spoke about at the beginning of the training who just wants to tell the story about how it's different for them. Number 16. Winners and successful people understand the importance of rest. This is my weakness. Never giving up is my strength. This is my weakness. Last night I was borderline meltdown at whatever time I did the last Unbreakable check-in reply, which I think was about 8, half 8 at night. And I still had other stuff that I wanted to do. I wanted to do the last three slides. Spoke to Logan, spoke to Nat. Nat went, just go to bed, Lee. You've been at it since 5 a.m. non-stop. It's 8 p.m. at night. And I was like, I've not even had a shower. I've not even had time to do this today. Classic victim, moaning, blaming, complaining. So I'm not a winner all the time. Less than 12 hours ago, I was doing some of the stuff that I was talking about myself. And it had to be told. She went, just go to bed. I went, yeah, you're right. So I showered and went to bed. Guess what? Everything was still here this morning. Everything was fine. No one had died. No one had complained. Nothing had gone wrong. House hadn't burnt down. Nearly blew down in the wind, but it hadn't burnt down. So we have to understand the importance of rest. And this is a key phrase to go back to. Understand that rest is a prerequisite for optimal performance, not a reward for total burnout. I very often fall into the latter category. Number 17. Winners and successful people are committed to doing what they said they would, to get what they said they want, long after the mood that they said it in has gone. That's powerful. Winners and successful people are committed to what they said they want and doing what they need to do to get what they said they want, long after the mood that they said it in has gone. And that's the difference. It's easy to say, yeah, that's it. I want to lose weight. Yeah, I want to stop smoking. Yeah, I'm going to stop taking drugs. Yeah, I'm going to start working on my mind daily. Yeah, I'm going to get up and do my 31 minutes cardio every morning. When motivation's high, when we're inspired, when we've just signed up, what did we talk about yesterday? When we're in the uninformed optimism, before we hit the informed pessimism. Winners will go through informed pessimism and they're still committed, even though their mood and their energy isn't the same as when they said what they were going to do. That's also called integrity, trust, and honesty. Number 18. Winners understand that life is a contribution-based experience and they don't make everything about them. This is a great depression turner as well. Like, people who really struggle with their mental health make everything about them. My feelings, my emotions, my life, my this, my that, yada, 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 yada. In fact, I was kind of not a million miles off of that place when I first met Jason, and we've talked about this at length. I was in a hole. I was in the pit February last year. rock bottom. The ADHD thing had just started to get really, really bad. I spent 3 days in a room, couldn't work, couldn't talk, didn't do anything, crippled with anxiety. And then this is the start kind of our story that we've built on. You know, me and Jason were on the phone, and I was like, fuck, this guy needs me. This guy needs my help. He needs my support. He needs my knowledge. What can I do? And this wasn't a planned thing. And it was like, all of a sudden, when my mind shifted from all about me, all about my feelings, all about my situation and circumstance, all about who'd let me down, all about who was a see you next Tuesday, everything was bad in the world. And all of a sudden, it's like, I need to help this guy. And like that, bang, out of it in 24 hours, because I became focused on what needs doing rather than what was happening. Started to move towards an exciting vision of my future. Started to create and get around people who were going to pull me out of it. So, key tip: stop making everything about you. If you're struggling, stop being all about your feelings. Who needs my help? Who do I need to get around? This is a great one as well that I ground myself with. If I'm getting miserable and Mardy, is it really okay me bringing this energy into Logan's life? Is this the energy I would want to be around? If I was sat up there on that curtain pole like a budgerigar, looking down, would I be happy about my son being around that man's energy looking at my own? No, that man needs to sort himself out. He needs to smile more. He needs to be happy. He needs to rest. He needs to stop moaning, blaming, and complaining. So I was making it not about me. When we make things not about us, this is the difference between what's called an egocentric and an ethrocentric goal. And again, when I did the multiple 10 marathon challenge in the 16 kilogram weighted Fessler, I don't know how you did it. Well, it wasn't about me. That's how I did it. I made myself highly publicly accountable, so I couldn't back out, never quit, and it wasn't about me. It was about someone else. And when you can do this, that will really, really help you. So that's another great tip. Okay. They understand that everything isn't all about them. People who are very often in a pit of depression also have massive egos. They think the whole world surrounds around them. Classic victim mentality. Life happens to them, not for them. Number 19, successful people understand that energy is everything and they protect it. Now, I've spoke about this many times. We cannot get rid of negative thoughts. We cannot get rid of negative people. How do you get rid of toxic people, Lee? How do you get rid of... Probably the most asked question I've ever been asked. How do I get rid of toxic people? You can't. How do I handle negative people? You don't. Why do you feel you need to? Just leave them be. Why do you need to handle them? Just choose to spend time around other people who are more positive. Like again, I said this before now, I love my mates, but I don't see half of them anymore because they still get fucking smashed on gear every weekend. They still go to 5, 6 festivals a year. They still go to Ibiza and don't sleep for 7 days. Okay, they're still all in that mindset. Like, I still love them. Again, the rugby lads. This is a group of lads who would die for each other on the pitch. I still love the rugby lads. Do I want to go and sink 10 pints of Stella on a Saturday night, singing Sweet Caroline and Hi Ho Sil and whatever else with me windmilling with me pants around my ankles in the middle of a pub? No, do I fuck? I'm a fucking responsible grown man. But that doesn't mean that I hate them. I still love them. I don't need to get rid of them. I don't need to handle them. I don't need to get them on my plan. I'm totally okay with them doing that. Some of them still love it. They're happy as Larry. So I don't need to handle them, but also I need to protect my energy. There's certain people in my life who I will not be around if my energy is low because I know exactly what's going to happen. She's not on the plan anymore, but me and Rosie Thorpe had this conversation, and she said, "Oh, my friends invited me around, and she'd gone on a really good period of not drinking, and she said, I'm gonna drive, I'm not gonna drink." I said, "What's your friend? What's your friend want you to go around for?" "Oh, she's having trouble with this, and she's having trouble with that." And it's like, "Oh, and what do you think's gonna happen tonight?" No, I'm going to drive. I'm going to drive. Like we know, like, and the conversation afterwards, and we laughed about it. We knew exactly what's going to happen. Within the second of going through the door, her friend had opened a bottle of Prosecco. She had about three, and then Rosie was just going to have one glass because she was going to drive, and then she ended up having three bottles with a friend. And all they probably did was moan, blame, complain, and justify. And we had a really conversation about it the other day, and I'm like, this is the exact thing. Me, her, and all of us in life. There's people that when we are low, that we can't be around, because when we're low and other low people, they want you to be low with them. Here, come and sit at my table. Like I'm feeling sorry for myself and I want to drink and I want to tell my story and I want to moan and blame, complain and justify. Will you please come and do that with me so I've got some company? Like, no, I won't. So again, there's people who, when we're in this low situation, it's like I can be around you actually, and I can help you, and I can be with you because my energy is good. But again, if my energy is low, there's people that I won't even answer a text message to because I know what's going to happen. We'll end up sharing stories. We'll end up meeting up. We'll end up talking about how it's different from us. And this is the brutality of it. Sometimes we think we're really being there for people and we're being good by going round and being with them when they're down, which is, but not if you're just going to sit there and let them tell their story. You are helping them pour petrol on their misery fire. I've told this before, like it's Paul's famous phrase from his book, cool story, bro. What do you want to have happen next? Like if the story doesn't matter, which brings us nicely on to number 20. Winners and successful people drop their story. They don't think it's different for them. They understand we all have the 24 hours in a day. We all have different backgrounds, different upbringings, different socio-economic statuses. We all have different everything, but the same thing we all have is the same 24 hours. I talked about this at length on a previous training about when Molly got pulled down for saying it, but she's right. What's gone is gone. What's happened with what's been given, whether you were born into a multi-millionaire family or you were born on a council estate, that's irrelevant. You still have the power to do the same things every day. You still have the same 24 hours. Some of us just have to work harder than others. But that is what winners understand. It's all on me. My life, my goals, my vision, my work. And anyone can get anything that they want. You look at it, there's quite a few in England, multi-millionaire women who started off cleaning one house, one toilet, scrubbing shit off of one toilet for £5 an hour. Same 24 hours in the day. And then they started doing 2 toilets and 3 toilets and then houses and then office blocks and then built a team. Amanda's smiling because I think this is potentially what she's done with her cleaning business in Spain. But, it's not about being born into a business. It's not being about giving a big inheritance. It's like, right, I understand this is what I've got and I'm going to work with what I've got to get what I want. And I'm not going to give up. Not I'm going to throw stones at every single person who's got what they want and make out like it's different for me and I can't get what I want because I didn't have the upbringing that they had. And this is what triggers me, and not a lot triggers me anymore. People are like afraid, right, to talk about successes. They're I fucking don't like him. He's a show off. Like if you're celebrating your wins, you're not showing off. You're fucking proud of something that you've achieved. The only person that will think you are showing off is someone who is jealous, and before they start commenting on other people's lives, should maybe go away and start fixing themselves. Like being proud, shouting about your wins. Paul Mort's taught me this more than anyone. Doesn't make you a show off. Doesn't mean you love yourself, although you should love yourself. Doesn't mean you've got a big ego. Like, what's your options? You can either talk about what's going well in life or you can talk about what's not going well. We've done this to death. We can water the flowers or we can water the weeds. Whichever we choose to water, we're going to get more of. Where attention goes, energy flows and results show. So actually, show off, shout. And guess what? The right people will love you. The other people, they don't matter. Number 22. I actually think I kind of did number 22 as number -1. Number 22 is practice gratitude. Number 23. Big one, this. Winners and successful people aren't afraid to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I was wrong. I overreacted. I didn't get all the information before I flew off the handle. And I truly regret what I said. And I hope you're going to accept my apology. You know, how many of you are still holding on to grudges? How many of you know deep down, do you know what? I was fucking out of order there. I shouldn't have said that. But I'm not going to tell that person because I'm too stubborn. I'm too stubborn because I feel stupid. They might laugh at me. They might knock me. Do you know what? There is nothing. I don't think there's anything that requires more strength than to just be able to say, do you know what? I'm really sorry about that. I messed up. My fault. I've learned the lesson. I hope you accept it. Guys, I hope that has been helpful. 23 reasons how we can win, how we can succeed, and how we can move forwards. The next training will be Thursday morning at the same time as today, which is 10 a.m. See you all then. Love you lots.